So at 4 o'clock the next morning, Sergeant comes and rouses me out of the sack, and I said, "No, Sergeant, you're all fouled up. My crew is blind today." He said, "I know they aren't, but you are." So I go down to the briefing, and some crew had lost their co-pilot. So I was put in with a strange crew and so forth. And we took off and flew that mission and got shot out.
Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
I didn't know any of the crew that I was with, and we all had to bail out.
What happened? Where were you, and what had happened?
Well, we had our mission was to bomb a German factory over close to Berlin, and we took off, and then as we went toward our target, the weather kept getting worse and worse, and finally they called off the mission. And here we are with a whole formation and loaded with bombs, and they call off the mission. Well, you couldn't land those planes with bombs.
Right.
So we were going to have to, we thought, well, we'll have to go over the channel and dump them. Well, we get, we're just following our lead plane, and so this lead plane takes off, and first thing you know, we're making a bomb run on a little airport that had 2 or 3 planes sitting on it. So we make this bomb run on this little airport, and they start shooting at us, of course, and the French laughed and said, "We got shot down by a bunch of women."
Oh, so you were over France at this, heading back.
France,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
So we all had to bail out.
Oh, geez, I can't imagine what that must have been like. What were you thinking at the time? That must have been terrifying.
Well, a little side story, and this is I'm not trying to make a good story out of it, but I was flying observer, and
Meaning,
we didn't have a pilot, so and it happened this way. I don't know whether it was normal or not, but our group was supposed to lead the formation that day. And so our colonel at our base was flying in the lead ship as co-pilot, assisted the co-pilot. So I didn't even have a place to fly. So he said, "You go back in the back and you keep me posted on the formation. You can see better back there." And so I went in the back of the plane and then didn't have anything to do, and we got where they were shooting at us. Well, they tightened up, but I just told him that, yeah, the formation's in good shape and so forth. And that's when we got hit.
so were you staring out like the gunner's window, or where were you stationed in the?
That's the rest of the story, I guess.
Yeah.
I hate to tell this because it sounds like I'm embellishing.
No.
But I was a spare back in the back. There was 2 waist gunners and a tail gunner back behind the bomb bay. And so the 2 waist gunners had a big window, and they opened them when we were over enemy territory. And so I was in their way, so I laid down. There was a couple of little windows down in the side of that B-24, and I laid down there, and I could peek out
Oh, okay.
the side windows and roll over here and roll over there.
Gotcha. Okay.
And keep the colonel advised and so forth. And I stay out of the way of the gunners.
Right.
So I'm not seeing where we're going very much or anything. I could only see the other planes in the formation. But the guys at the waist gun windows kicked me in, and I was half asleep laying down there, and they pointed, and here's fire coming out of the bomb bay.
Oh,
right
jeez.
up.
Had you guys already dropped your bombs, or did you still have your bombs?
No, we still had our bomb.
Oh.
So, and it was fire coming out. So they kicked me in and got me awake, and they bailed out. They went. The time I got onto my feet, well, they were gone. So I think that poor tail gunner was probably just like me, didn't know what was going on. I better go try to get him. So I started to go back to the tail to get him, and there was just fire every place.
Oh.
I just knew I couldn't make it. So I turned around and jumped out. And the rest of the story is that when I landed in a backyard of a little village, house, between the barn and the house.
But the bailout went fine. Your chute opened with no problem. Had you ever had any training in parachuting at all, or was it just here's a parachute, strap this on? And
I did a no-no. I was laying down there, and it was too uncomfortable with the leg straps on the parachute, backpack parachute. The leg straps come up here through between your legs and hooked to the side. I had unhooked those leg straps off because it's uncomfortable laying down there. Well, then when I get up on my feet and the fire is coming out, I remembered I had fastened my leg straps, but it was too hot to stay.
Oh, jeez.
And so I jumped, and knowing that I hadn't fastened my leg straps, I clamped my arm down just as much as I could over that chest strap and hoped I could stay in. And this is I'm not embellishing, I don't mean to.
Yeah.
But anyway, it pulled my arms right up to my elbows, that strap did, but it stayed there. And I rode that parachute down, hanging by my elbows in that harness. But it was a nice, cool, quiet day, and I hung on now.
I'll be darned.
And until I landed in the backyard of a little village.
Did you watch your plane go down? Did you see what happened
No,
to
I
that?
couldn't see that.
Okay.
I lost it. After I got out, I couldn't. I probably was not turned the right direction.
Okay. Okay.
I was hanging in that perilous condition. I didn't want to make a move.
Right.
And so, but the rest of that story is that landed in a house and the gal, little French woman and her little daughter come running out and gathered up my parachute, and of course I didn't understand French, but I could understand there was a field with some growth in it that was about that high, right off next to the road, next to her house, and I could tell she meant for me to get over there. So I went over there and crawled in out of sight in that field.
But you were okay? You were uninjured from the crash or the?
No, I was just burned.
Oh, were you burnt? Oh, jeez.
Burned around.
Had your goggles on and.
Yeah.
Huh.
But no, I wasn't.
But no angle spraying or anything like that.
The people in the. This is the irony of all those things. The people in the cockpit, pilot, co-pilot, and navigator, well, the navigator was up front, but bombardier. Anyway, we got hit right in that bomb base and the cockpit section. So the pilot and the co-pilot and the engineer never knew what hit them.
Wow. Which would have potentially would have been your fate had you not been pushed in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Good Lord takes care of you.